Welcome to the City Show. Pat O'Melia here. You there? That's why I did the show, because you're there. Don't forget everything on the bottom of the screen. Follow us on Facebook. Love us on YouTube. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Follow us on Twitter, Instagram, live stream. Yeah, we're going to say what live streaming looks like. Progressive Insurance. Flo. We like Flo, right? Flo seems like a decent person. On the 23rd, my car was hit at 3:30 in the morning by a guy that was suspected of DUI. He got a bunch of summonses. On the 26th, I got the police report. Really nice police report, by the way. This happened in Seaside Heights. I have cars in Seaside Heights at my kid's house. I have cars in Jersey. I have a lot of cars. Really good police report, but I mean, all typed out. Got in touch with Progressive, and the night of the accident, they actually wanted us to tow the car. I said, "Don't tow it. You're going to incur pound fees and a tow." They hit it up against a curb, so it's okay where it is. How long is it going to take to get an adjuster? Holy shit! Progressive calls. They want to take the car to some location where, quote unquote, a third party will evaluate the car and make me an offer. If I don't accept the offer, which is interesting here, if I don't accept their offer, it would be up to me at my expense to get the car out of this unknown location back to my house, either Seaside Heights or in Jersey City. I'm not doing that. This is my property. You are not taking my property until we come up with a figure and you have a check. Then if the car is totaled, and it is, I'm a car guy, you go and do what you want. I'll take my plates off and all. But this car's not going anywhere until I get paid. And I've been going back and forth. We're going into like 2 weeks here, trying to get an adjuster to look at the car. And they're like fighting me hand and foot. So I got in touch with the Division of Banking and Insurance. We got these cameras. I did some research on Progressive. I got the name of the CEO. Went from the guy I was dealing with to his supervisor. The supervisor seemed very professional, this gentleman, Raines. So I'll see where that goes. Next week, we may have more to me versus Flo here. But all I asked through the whole thing, and I'm trying to be a nice guy, don't tow the car, don't impound it because there's a pound fee. I didn't even rent a car, which I was entitled to do. I just didn't want to run the bill up. Boy, I tell you, what an idiot I was. I should have let the car get pounded. You cure the pound fees or the tow storage fees, and I'll get a rental car. What an idiot. I'm trying not to milk a situation, and now I'm paying the price for this. So I'll tell you next week how it goes with me and Flo. But I'd like to know if your experiences with Progressive. You can email me, you can text me or tweet me, whatever. Our topics today, NJT is rescuing A&C bus lines. Oh, what a mistake that is. Recent flooding, I want to go over that a little bit. I'm not a climate change person, so you all point fingers at me now. And the 6th Street embankment, an old friend of mine here in Jersey City. All right, we're out of, we got to go for commercial. We got to break for commercial. We'll be right back.
Jersey City Medical Center is healing, enhancing, and investing in Hudson County because your heart doesn't beat just for you. So get it checked. When your bones are healthy, it lifts us all. We're delivering joy daily in our Lord Abbott Maternity Wing and providing New Jersey's only NCI-designated comprehensive cancer center. We'll continue building our medical network and taking every precaution for your safety so that we can all be healthy together.
Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, Jersey City. Hudson County's only monument maker, serving all faiths and cemeteries. Design, studio, and large inventory on site. Cemetery inscriptions and custom orders welcome. Burns Brothers Memorials, Monuments, and Markers, 787 Tunley Avenue, just south of Secaucus Road. Craftsmanship that will last for all eternity. Burns Brothers, Jersey City, Albert H. Hopper, North Arlington. Visit us on the net.
If you need to see a doctor, RWJ Barnabas Health has 2 easy ways to do it from anywhere. You can see an urgent care provider 24/7 on any device with our Telemed app. Or use our website to book a virtual visit with an RWJ Barnabas Health Medical Group provider or specialist, even as a new patient. You've taken every precaution, and so have we, so don't delay your care any longer. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
We're back. Pat O'Melia here. Trying to get back in the groove, coming back from hiatus. We're still not back in the routine yet. NJT, as you know, in Jersey City, where this is our last private bus company, by the way, A&C Bus. And as I said many a time, through my childhood living in Jersey City, every main street had its own bus. And they were all privately owned for the most part. We used to have a public service bus. I think it was public service, Gas and Electric had their own bus. They were in a bus business for a while. But they were all privately owned. There was no NJ Transit back then. The Boulevard bus, Garfield, the Central Avenue, the Montgomery Street bus, the Bergen Avenue bus, the 440 Shopper. Yeah, we had buses all over the place. Now we have hardly any buses. And one of the things two things killed the buses. One, nobody works in Jersey City anymore. We used to have, Journal Square, and you had businesses on 440. It was a real economic engine now. All our industrial sites and commercial sites are now condos or residential buildings, so they're not going to work anymore. And the other problem with private bus companies is NJ Transit. They have no respect for money, but I jump. NJ Transit is going to take over the A&C bus routes. And everybody's like, thank God we have saved the bus routes. God had nothing to do with this deal. This is a devil deal, I'm telling you now. God had nothing to do with this mistake. NJT was the problem for all these private bus companies. We lost the Bergen Avenue buses. The last couple of years, we lost so many buses. NJT is the problem. There's no way in hell they can be the solution. NJT is the reason we don't have private bus companies anymore. That's why they're all going out of business in Jersey. But we're out of private bus companies in Jersey City now. Why? Because NJT, as I said before, has no respect for money. Because they don't care. If they need money, they're going to get it out of you, whether you use NJ Transit or not. They're subsidized to the tune of 74% by the state of New Jersey. Every dollar, 74% of it, 74 cents, is taxpayer money. NJ Transit doesn't care about the profit and loss statement or even breaking even or even trying to make it somewhat efficient because they don't have to. They're a horribly run organization that swims in red ink. And that red ink is your tax dollars. And they're awful. They are a terrible operation. Their buses and trains are late. They don't show up. They're in various states of demanding of maintenance. You've seen the pictures. You see it on the internet all the time. There's a guy that's always posting about NJ Transit on Twitter, where the windows are broken, the doors don't open, the seats are ripped, the seats are broken. Yeah, it's despicable how badly this transportation entity runs things. You hear it every morning on the news about the trains. There's always a problem with New Jersey Transit. They always need more money. They are not the solution to transportation in New Jersey. They are the problem with transportation in New Jersey. Celebrating NJT taking over the A&C bus routes is ridiculous. They're awful. They're an awful entity. They're going to do a bad job of this. And the thing is, now you got nowhere to go. At least with a private entity, you can get to the private entity and say, we got problems with commercial. I met Mary Beth. I met her. A&C Bus was in business for like 100 years. It was all family run. They depended on that bus. But the problem was, especially after the pandemic, people were working from home. A lot of people moved. Ridership was down. And it was an artificial fare. It was $1.60 to take the bus. Again, 74% of New Jersey Transit is taxpayer. A&C, they were trying to live on $1.60 a bus fare. That's ridiculous. But they couldn't raise their rates because NJ Transit runs buses. And they don't care what their bus rate is. And it's a funny thing, they always talk, we need a dedicated source of revenue funding for New Jersey Transit. Well, what the hell is the fare? Isn't that a dedicated source? You got Mayor Fulop, who believes, again, I've known Fulop for the 20 years he's been on the scene here. I agree with that. Like I say, I'm married 45 years now. I don't agree with everything my wife does. I don't agree with Steve Fulop on the state taking over all forms of transportation because it ain't going to run well. Government should regulate, not operate. should regulate, say what has to be done, and do a good job of it, and let the private sector do the job. You know, it's like Conrail. Conrail was going bankrupt. You know, they took over all these lines. There was that shift from the trains to the trucks and the boats and all. Back in the old days, there was a ro-ro operation that hurt the train business, where you rode the trailers up on the boat and you rode them off ro-ro, going back to my transportation days. Conrail did a terrible job. Amtrak does a terrible job. Let private sector operate. Let the government regulate. Let private sector operate. And it'll be a good job. It'll be a job well done. So A&C Bus has done a great job. I'm not a bus guy. I can count on these two hands in my entire life how many times I've been on a bus. I don't want to be on a bus. I don't want to be in a COVID tube. I don't want to be in a tube where I can have somebody with a knife stabbing people. I'll drive my car. Private sector will always run it better than the government will. You're going to see the effects. We have no private sector buses in Jersey City. You're going to see the effects of that in very short order. All right, we're going to break for commercial. You're watching The City Show. I'll be right back.
Cancer.
We've got the highest level of cancer care,
the latest clinical trials,
researchers working to find a cure,
and nurse navigators to guide you every step of the way.
At New Jersey's only NCI-designated Comprehensive Cancer Center, your safety has always been our top priority.
I've got cancer, but I also have peace of mind.
Jersey City Medical Center and Rutgers Cancer Institute of New Jersey. Let's beat cancer together.
Consumer Carpets, 3408 Kennedy Boulevard in the Jersey City Heights. Your one-stop store for residential and commercial floor treatments. Carpeting, linoleum, tiles, laminates, hardwood floors, area rugs, remnants. All major brands, all in stock. Free estimates, same-day installation. Consumer Carpets, it's savings, selection, installation. Credit cards and debit cards accepted. Financing available. Consumer Carpets, price to fit your budget, installation to fit your schedule. On the net at consumercarpets.com. Consumer Carpets, Jersey City, 201-792-2712. We're back. Pat O'Melia here, you there? Before I get into the flooding, name me something that government runs well. Is it the Motor Division of Motor Vehicles? You know, there was the time, motor vehicles, the agencies, they were privatized. They were franchises. And there were people that depended on the business to feed their family. And they did a good job, and then eventually the state said, no more franchise, you're out. Believe me, the private sector will do a better job of running anything the government does. Again, government should regulate and let private sector operate. Flooding. We just had a huge rainstorm. It was the worst, heaviest rainstorm we had since, I think it was 1882, where like in short order, like 6 inches of rain fell, and it caused flooding everywhere. But you know, we always have some heavy rain, you know, and New York City, Hoboken, Brooklyn, New York City, they were devastated with rain. But they've had rain before. It had heavy rain, you know, maybe it wasn't 6 inches, you had 5 inches, but it wasn't, you know, destructive as it is. The subways weren't flooded. Hoboken was like closed for 2 days. The streets were all flooded. And this is, you know, after, you know, millions of dollars in pump stations and a resiliency parks. Didn't do a damn thing. They were still flooded. They got floodgates that come down and stop you from riding around in Hoboken. Something doesn't work. It's the same thing with Brooklyn. You see, and New York City, you've seen the news. You know, the subways were getting flooded. There was like 2 feet of water in Manhattan and in Brooklyn. But that wasn't always the case. And again, you know, Brooklyn, Hoboken, Manhattan, been around a long time. Been around long before 1882, the last big storm we had. So what changed? Why is it when we get a heavy rainstorm, it's devastating? And people say, well, it's climate change. Yeah, it's climate change. The planet is always changing. There was ice ages. There's some proof to Noah's flood. You know, there's always going to be cycles with the planet. I assume it's gone on forever, billions of years. What has transpired here recently that when we get a heavy rain, it's basically devastating for 2 or 3 days. Like I said, Hoboken got slammed. Brooklyn, New York City. You know, those subways in New York City, you walk down the stairs from the street level. You know, if there was a constant threat of flooding, they certainly wouldn't have designed it that way. But it's been that way for over 100 years with those subways. What changed? In my humble opinion, again, I'm not one of these people who blame everything on climate change. Again, last big storm was in 1882. Who are we blaming in 1882 for the heavy rain? Cars, buses, cows, industry, heating oil, whatever. Ozones. The planet's constantly changing. But what happened here, you take Hoboken, Brooklyn, New York City, they're always developing. There's always new development. There's an old infrastructure, a sewer infrastructure, water main infrastructure. That's why there's always these breaks. I think that is three things. Overdevelopment, not investing in the infrastructure, and not maintaining your sewer infrastructure, that it can't handle these heavy rainstorms. And that's why the flooding occurs. Because you look at Jersey City, we were pretty good there. But as you and I know, if you ride around the city, Mayor Fulop has a whole infrastructure project going on. Like every part of the city is either getting new water mains, new sewer mains, and it showed in this last storm. Jersey City wasn't too bad. They had a problem down by City Hall. A water main broke right out City Hall. They had to close City Hall on Friday. But that's what I call the flatlands. Man, I don't know. I assume everybody realizes that Jersey City is a hill. I live in the Heights. I'm on the top of the hill. Why they call it the Heights? It's the height. And those waters in the rain come running down those hills down to the flatlands. In this case, West Side Avenue to the west, Route 440, 1 and 9. And to the east, you got Monmouth Street, Grove Street, of course, Marin Boulevard. Those are the flatlands. And that water's coming down those hills into sewer systems that may be at least 100 years old. I don't know if they got that. I'm sure they didn't upgrade the infrastructure by City Hall, because I go to City Hall a lot and I don't recall having to get around all the closed streets, which is a real problem. And as soon as we finish those water mains and sewers, it'd be nice to pave all these streets. The flatlands are where we have these sinkholes and water main breaks. It's not on top of the hills. It's on the flatlands, West Side, Marin Boulevard. And that's because, at least in Jersey City, you've made a tremendous investment in infrastructure. It's been going on for like the last 2-3 years. Like every neighborhood is getting new water mains. And in 2 or 3 years, that whole project will be done. But if you don't maintain those sewer systems, that's probably what happens in Hoboken, probably what happens in Brooklyn and New York that caused all that flooding. Again, these cities have been around a long time. Now, Hoboken's always had a flooding issue. I believe Hoboken may even be below sea level. But if your sewer systems are working and they're unclogged and they're not, disconnected, you'll be able to channel this water out. Probably what happened in Brooklyn and New York is a problem with the infrastructure. Again, kudos to Mayor Fulop. Heavy investment into the infrastructure here in Jersey City, and I think it paid off. 440 down at Sip Avenue, that used to be a flood zone down there. Didn't happen this time, as far as I know. I didn't hear anything about it. I wasn't down there. So when you see these collapses, you'll notice they're all in the flatlands. Like you just had the big collapses down on Sip and West Side, the flatlands, old sewer systems, a lot of water rushing. My studio in North Bergen, it's at the base of the hill. When that water comes off the hills in North Bergen, down 42nd Street, it comes with such force, it blows the manhole covers off. The manhole covers take off. And, dumpsters start floating away. So when we're working and there's heavy rain, one of the things we do, we pay attention to what's going outside. But again, Mayor Sacco in North Bergen is addressing that with a whole program of sewer upgrades. All right, let's break for commercial. You watching The City Show? I'll be right back.
Jersey City Medical Center has a passion for heart health. We're Hudson County's only full-service heart hospital, with innovative technologies and premier cardiovascular physicians, a partnership with Rutgers Health, the latest technology and medical advancements, and nationally renowned care for every heart in every community. Whoever your heart beats for, our hearts beat for you. Jersey City Medical Center.
Newport, the luxury waterfront community on the Hudson River, offers a quality of life you deserve in one of our many high-rise towers. With amenities such as the on-site Newport Path, light rail, Newport Town Square, 3 playgrounds, dog run, upscale restaurants, retail giants like Kohl's, JCPenney, Macy's, and Target. Morton Williams and Acme Supermarket are just outside your front door. A health and fitness center, skating rink, and medical facilities are also on site. Enjoy the New York skyline from our waterfront and various parks. Manhattan is just one pass stop away, or a quick ride through the Holland Tunnel. Nursery and private elementary schools all on site. 12-screen movie theater at the Newport Center Mall. Looking to visit? Stay at the Westin or Marriott Hotel. For more information, visit us at newportnj.com. Make lasting memories to cherish forever. It's incredible. It's you, Newport. Live like you want.
We're back. Pat O'Meara here. You there? Covering all the bases today, right? Buses, sewers. Well, I'm kidding. Jersey City. You're going to see that starting in North Bergen also. But Jersey City's got like a 2-3 year head start doing all these sewers and water mains. And it makes it really rough to get around Jersey City. But let's go back to Jersey City. I've been involved with the 6th Street embankment. I can still see Mayor Cunningham having press conferences there. Got to be 2002. Covering this is when I was out there covering these things about saving the embankment. During the Schindler administration, the embankment went out for bid. I don't know how the city got into bidding it out, because they didn't own it. It was owned by Conrail at that time, and it still is now. And they bid the thing out, and all the usual suspects, made bids on it. The LaFrac organization, the Panapinto Properties, all the major developers put in bids to buy the 6th Street embankment. It was made up of 6 embankments. The Jersey City pyramids there. And a guy, an old friend of mine, rest his soul, Steve Hyman, was the winning bid. I think he bought it for like $3.5 million. This is like in 2000. No, it's actually before Glenn gets into office. So this is probably 98, 99. He's the winning bidder. And he's all these plans. Well, once word got out that there would be development, everybody's antennas went up. They want development. They wanted something. They didn't want to pay, but they wanted something there. And it turned out Conrail, there's so many things. Conrail didn't follow an abandonment procedure. My old buddy Lou Manzo was an assemblyman then. He found this loophole that they didn't properly abandon the 6th Street embankment. And years of court rulings went on. There would be court rulings in favor of Steve Hyman, court rulings in favor of the city, and the city wants the land for parks, but we had no money. And it would cost a tremendous amount of money to convert these 6 embankments to some, which is like 30 feet in the air, into a park. And it would be hard to secure it because they're 30 feet up in the air. Like I said, there were dreams of a city park. There were dreams of development, and Hyman was going to develop, and he was going to sell it. And unfortunately, Steve Hyman passed on. Great guy. His wife Vicky now has it. They're still in it because Conrail cashed the check from Steve Hyman. I don't think, as far as I know, they never gave the money back. There was always an argument. Steve had title search to make sure the land was to be sold, and it proved it was. And it's been a lawyer's dream ever since. Now, the last I heard of the deal for the 6th Street embankment included development. The idea was they were going to develop on 4 of the 6 embankments. And there would be, high rises, that sort of thing. And 2 of the embankments would be open space parkland. Then I heard there was another one they were going to develop on 5 of the embankments, and 1 would be a park. All sorts of ideas. Right now, there is a motion going on. They're trying to find out, does Conrail own it? And if they do, they're going to rebid it again. If it turns out Conrail, somebody's got to own it. The city doesn't own it. Now, the city could try to take it on eminent domain, but it's going to be quite expensive. Did the Hymans own it? They wrote a check and it cashed years ago. I would think they own it. But Conrail's looking at it. Conrail is hoping that, yes, we own it because they're going to, whatever the successors of Conrail are, they're looking at a property that in 2023, with all the renaissance here in Jersey City and development, it could be 50, 75, maybe $100 million. Where Hyman bought it for like $3.5 million or so back in 2000. Now, if you were going to convert this into park and buy this property from the Hymans or eminent domain, it was probably wise to do it in the 2000s or the 2010s, because after that, property get pretty expensive here. Like I said, if that goes out again for bid, if it is determined that Conrail owns it and not the Hymans, and it'll go on for a long time in the courts, I'm sure, it may be too damn expensive for the city to even get involved. And again, the city might try to do eminent domain, for the better open public safety, public space, that sort of thing. But still, there's the realistic amount of money that it would cost. You might be looking at $75 million or $100 million. Think about that. It is 6 blocks of downtown Jersey City. Yeah, $100 million is probably in the realm of realistic figure, maybe more. I heard of an acre of property down on the waterfront sold for like $35 million. This is 6 blocks of land. I don't think the city could afford to buy it and convert it into park space. You may be lucky if you get one. And it always amazed me, there was 2 embankments, by the way. There was another one at 10th Street. Nobody's fighting over that one. And then quietly, and that's all developed. There's all residential units on the 10th Street embankment. So I don't know why the 6th Street embankment is so special and the 10th Street wasn't. But again, if this goes out, if it turns out Conrail is supposedly the entity, I guess there is still a Conrail. If they send out the bid, they're going to make a ton of money. If Hyman turns around and goes, and she had an agreement, I believe, to sell it to the city and another developer who was going to develop on 4 or 5 of the blocks, and they have one for park space. A lot of money is involved here. But if this goes out to bid again, I'm not a real estate guy, but I could see $100 million for that property. All right, we're out of show, but I've been involved in that 6th Street embankment for a long time. All right, we're out of show. You be good, you be safe. I'll talk to you next week. Good night.